Hello everyone, dear football lovers. It's time to finally put a bell on that cat that's been purring all over social media for weeks. Today we're talking about Vinicius Jr. Yes, the Brazilian hurricane, the kid who destroys defenders on the wing and who also, let's say, stirs up plenty of noise in the social sports headlines. Because let's be honest, you can feel it in the air, right? And I, as always, have to come in and poke that bubble of unconditional love. Let's be fair, and I'm the first to admit it. Vinicius is a baller, a Lamborghini, power, dribbling, verticality. He's got that Brazilian magic we barely see anymore. When he takes off, he's unstoppable. If we focus strictly on football, those left-wing runs and the perfect pass into space, you give him a 9/10. He's a massive asset for Real Madrid. That, ladies and gentlemen, is undeniable. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. But friends, football is more than just running and shooting. And that's where things get a bit ugly. The attitude. The famous Vinicius attitude. I'm not even talking about whether he's provoked or not. I'm talking about the response. Our Brazilian friend seems to have a master's degree in confrontation. A gesture here, a complaint there, a clash with a rival, and then the classic, look how they're attacking me. And the question is it really necessary, Vini? Does a player of your level already respected and feared for your football need to constantly dive into this theater of victimhood? Is it part of your mojo or just a slightly annoying habit? I'm just asking. And now we arrive at the most delicate point, the overrating. Careful, I'm not saying he's bad. We already said he's a Lamborghini. But let's analyze things calmly. People put him in the top 5 conversation. They compare him to legends. And to me it feels like we're paying a bit for the aura around him. Because, yes, he's decisive. But does he have the scoring consistency of the true monsters? Or is his value inflated because he's the big media symbol, the banner that must be defended at all costs? Even when he's the one provoking rival fans. He's a great player, with maybe a bit too much marketing behind him. And that's fine, he's young, he can grow. But taking him down from the pedestal a little and focusing him on destroying defenses instead of destroying atmospheres would, in my opinion, do his legacy a favor. My advice, Vini? Less theater, fewer gestures to the crowd, fewer complaints at the first contact, and more of what you do best, playing football like a genuine star. Because when you do that, no one can touch you, and the day you fully understand that you'll be unstoppable. Now, let's put the cards on the table. When Real Madrid needed that pure moment of brilliance to win the most important trophy, who showed up? Vinicius, the player, has been key, decisive, brutal. That goal in the Champions League final against Liverpool is the kind of moment that builds legends. And in the knockout stages, his speed is a nuclear weapon that turns organized defenses into chaos. We're not talking about someone who simply contributes. We're talking about someone who decides matches. Real Madrid doesn't have those Champions Leagues without the Vinicius factor at full power. Sporting merit, 10/10, no debate. And of course, we can't ignore the Mbappé factor, because our friend Vini, with all his power and all his champions, trophies now has a hierarchy problem. He went from being the sun that illuminated Madrid's attack, the golden boy who scores in finals, to being the moon. Mbappé's arrival, the true generational phenomenon, has pushed him, even symbolically, into a secondary role. He's no longer the undisputed star, the figure around whom the entire attack and narrative revolve. Now his game has to complement the French superstar, and we'll see how Vinicius handles that. Because going from main actor to supporting actor, especially for someone so sensitive to narratives, might be a bitter pill to swallow. Final conclusion, Vinicius is an elite player who has shaped the recent history of Real Madrid with decisive goals. Undeniable, but inexplicably, he insists on looking for enemies instead of focusing on being the star he already is. And now, with the shadow or the blinding light of Mbappé he faces, the challenge of dealing with the loss of that absolute spotlight without diving into more unnecessary drama. He's a genius, with a martyr complex. And now tell me in the comments, is Vinicius' attitude the price we pay for his brilliance? Or is it a flaw a top player should fix, especially now that he's no longer the sole leader? Leave a like. If you enjoyed the analysis, subscribe so we can keep dissecting football legends. And I'll see you in the next video.